Well, before we dive into the Seth part, I want to hear what you found in your mailbox on Friday.
Yeah, so got a little bit of Joey in the mail. Thank
I
you
love that.
very much.
That's awesome. Like that's the envelope it comes in.
Uh-huh. Yep, it comes in this envelope. And yeah, what's funny too is it says down at the bottom, we made this mailer from FSC certified sustainable materials. As you read this, your mailer is using oxygen and D2W proprietary technology to turn itself into a fully biodegradable material. So I just got this funny image of like reading that, and as I'm reading that, it's slowly like just turning into like a
Disintegrate.
mushy, reusable like dirt.
Mm.
Anyway, sorry that was like a tangent, but thank you for that. What's funny is I thought, oh my goodness, Joey heard us, and they've sponsored us, and magically found my address, and they've sent us some Joey. Um,
I still haven't sent it to them, but I'll send that episode and this episode, and maybe we will get a sponsor. That'd be fun.
yeah, and I'll tell you, I used it this morning for the first time, and I was gonna like, I was thinking, oh, what I'll do is I'll have a mug ready, and it'll like
Oh,
I'll have props. But honestly, I've got some water going because the whole point is to do your super coffee, and then you
yeah,
don't need to be drinking coffee for hours. So there you
exactly.
go.
That's awesome. Fun. Well, yeah, I really liked their website and everything. It was like really easy and very cute, quippy, branding and that kind of thing. Just awesome.
Yeah. Well, and this is like one more fun fact is I was like kind of digging around, seeing who the founders were because I had never done that before.
Oh yeah.
And Amanda and Brendan, they do have like it's very quippy. They have a really fun like story that they talk about meeting in college and wanting to find a different coffee solution and all this stuff. But I also found out in that Amanda works for Google in their AI. It's like I think so. This is almost kind of like a startup that these two people have created, but it's like their side hustle. So I know
Oh,
this is kind of the spirit of our podcast, the spirit of Seth Godin, and starting something and building
yeah.
something like. So it's kind of like on the side of other jobs they built this, or I don't know exactly how it went down. It'd be fun to find out, but that in building this, they were able to build themselves in a way that then they could go to an organization like Google and they were like, we want your thinking here, we want you to build here, keep doing Joey. But so yeah, it'd be fun to kind of know the parallel stories of these founders and their products. So anyway,
That would be really cool. Huh,
yeah,
that's neat. I did not know that. All right. Well, I'm happy to read today's if you'd like.
sure.
Okay. What does it want? A useful way to understand an evolved organism or system is to ask what it wants. What actions does it need to evoke to survive or thrive? The flower wants bees to visit, the berries want to be eaten by birds. Obviously, they don't have conscious intent, but this desire guides their progression through the generations. When they get more of what they want, they do it more. The same is true for manufactured objects and organizations as well. The well designed tool wants you to hold it by the handle, not the blade, and to use it often and safely. The successful luxury good wants you to show it off to others and to feel a certain way when you do. And the smartphone wants your attention, as much of it as it can get, and then a little more. It does that by bringing the outside world to wherever you are, piercing the intimacy of here and the magic of now by persistently creating anxiety or fear or satisfaction again and again and again. Choosing to engage with things that want what we want is a powerful choice. And then he gives a shout out to Kevin's book, which is a book called What Technology Wants by someone named Kevin Kelly.
Oh man, so Kevin Kelly is not just any someone, Holly.
Who is it?
Kevin Kelly is the co-founder of the magazine Wired, or it started, I guess, as a
Oh,
Wired magazine, and has grown into this brand that's on the forefront of technology and innovation, and so yeah, this is a book that my leader Rob Hoskins refers to a lot and often asks like, what does he has a talk that kind of went I don't know. Yeah, we'll say viral. It kind of went viral in my little part of the world called "What Web 3 Wants," as he was exploring like that moment where Web 3 was emerging. And so this "What Blank Wants" is a familiar turn of
Like,
phrase for like an emerging thing. And Kevin Kelly is a thought leader uh, around all things technology and like futurism.
well, future, yeah,
So
futurism is what his website says. Okay, interesting. Well, also this is just whenever I see things like this, it's so fascinating to me because like his website is not great. The cover of this book to me is awful. Yet he is a very successful and well respected person. So that is
yeah,
always fascinating to me. Like I'm like, really? Like it looks like a. I mean, that's I do judge books by its cover, and I'm looking at the cover of
yeah,
this, and it to me it looks like a self-published, which maybe well, no, it says Penguin House actually, but it looks very like something I would make on Canva, which is not a compliment, but
yeah.
I bet it's
That's funny.
amazing, full of lots of wisdom, and we should all
Yeah,
read it.
yeah. It's he's an academic, or it's probably more academic. It's like the academy. So it's almost like if the book cover was better and more artsy, would it actually be a detriment to the academic
Totally.
preference or something? I don't know. It's like such a funny. I'm with you. I'm like, ooh, that's what I've never seen the book cover. I'm like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I have a little story to go with today's blog, which is maybe this will kick off our conversation. I was sitting at the breakfast table this morning and thinking, okay, well, we're gonna do this podcast today, so let me just skim Seth's blog, and
Mhm.
yeah, Lauren had already run our son off to school, and it was just me and the 2 year old at the table, and I'm skimming this article, this blog, while trying to encourage her to eat her strawberries, and I read that line, um, "The smartphone wants your attention," and then the part where it does that by bringing the outside world to wherever you are, piercing the intimacy of here and the magic of now. And I was just like, just flipped the
Ouch.
phone over and was like, strawberries and tiny little pieces of biscuit. That's what we're gonna focus on right now. And it did. It like sent my mind into this like melancholy of like even in reading this blog this morning of saying like it got me. And it's not like it was nefarious, and it was an attempt at productivity and trying to be efficient with this time, and yeah, it wasn't just scanning Instagram or something like that, right? It's not just like a mindless scroll of nonsense and something that's not gonna be a pro or a con to my life.
Mhm.
But yeah, it still got me, and so anyway, as parents, you and I, of tiny little ones who are watching these little creatures grow up, and the yesterday's version of them is gone forever. It's like today in the now, the intimacy. That's a really beautiful way to say it. The intimacy of here and the magic of now. I mean, it's like it gets me like just hearing that. So anyway, that happened, and thankfully it caught me, flipped over the phone, and then after that we played with Play-Doh and we did some coloring in a Minnie Mouse coloring book, and I mostly left the phone alone to the side thanks to that line. So there you go.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that. It is hard. I don't remember who said this. Some I don't know, probably some person who's like given a TED talk or something, but she was like the biggest concern of this generation is I think she was saying it's not absent parents, but it's distracted parents. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
our generation has been like, oh, we're going to be present. And it's like, oh, we are, yet we're sitting on the floor scrolling. And I'm saying, like, for myself, scrolling on her phone, you know? Because I mean, my attention span, I can tell it's like, you know, within just a few seconds, I'm like, oh, I wonder about this or that, or I want to see this, or, while she's playing with blocks. And so I noticed that about myself of like, I want that dopamine hit every couple minutes, you know?
Yeah.
So that hits me a lot of like the distraction of trying not to be it's not enough to be present. Or like what is present? It's not just physically present, but it's mentally present, which means not being distracted. And it's hard
Yeah.
because like even this morning, she was like playing by herself for a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is good. Maybe I'll try to like read a book. Because most of the time when we're together, I am like right beside her, and sometimes I'm like, okay, like I don't think that's good either. Like to be like in her face all the time, you know, in like a good way. Like it's like good, but also she needs to learn how to play by herself. Anyway, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll sit here and like try to read a real book, like an an ancient real. So I'm like, so she didn't like that either. Like she could tell I was, you know, distracted. So anyway, then that got me thinking like, is this even not being present by me sitting here and trying to read a book and encouraging her to independently play while I'm in the same room with her? But I think it's good for her to see me reading a traditional book. So anyway, those are like the overthinking things that we as
Oh, I
millennial
know.
parents do.
I know it. And it's yeah, it's not just being not distracted. It's not just being I feel like you used several good words a second ago. Like but it's like the encouragement to be an active parent. So like
Yeah.
talking about the colors and the shapes and stacking in the blocks in ways that are like, look what you can do with these. Isn't this cool? Or thinking outside the thinking outside the block, thinking outside the box with look how you can stack one on top of two and it makes like a pyramid or all that. So maybe there's something here for the two of us and then also any parent listening to like fight the urge. It's like this is not the first. This is the 5 bajillionth time you've heard this, but like put down the phone and be present and use any of those tools. Like I noticed Holly this morning, even not as usual as I'm used to, but it said that my message was delivered to you quietly, and I was like, oh, maybe she's like turned off notifications or silenced them for to be more present or something. So that was kind of a fun because I'm not used to seeing that when I message you, but I saw it this
But
morning.
okay, this is a sidetrack. My phone was not on Do Not Disturb though. And this is not the first time. I've had my friend Kendall, same
Ah,
problem. She's like, everybody says my phone is on Do Not Disturb every time they text me, but it's not. Like I'm literally and like we did an experiment and then this lady I was talking to on the phone last week, same thing. She was like, did my phone is not on Do Not Disturb, but I didn't get your call. Like, and I was like, oh yeah, it said it was on Do Not. So anyway, that is so
something
weird.
to explore, but also maybe it's a gift. There you go. Like,
Maybe. Yeah.
congratulations.
Unless you miss something. Well, and then you're on the other
Unless you
side.
missed
Like
something
there's
important.
nothing more irritating than for me because I have no patience when I text
Yeah.
somebody in the middle of the day and it's on Do Not Disturb and I actually need them. So I'm the person that's like, notify anyways.
You push through. That's so
Oh
awesome.
yeah. If it's like something that I like actually need a response for.
Yeah.
This
Another
is
like the parenting angle is important, probably the most important.
and I
But there's
will say
also
not just parenting, but all relationships. I think
all
we're
relationships.
because we
Yes,
can get those dopamine hits from a phone and not experiences or in person these days. So it's easy
that's
to
right.
isolate and yeah.
And we see, the kind of meme of sitting in a restaurant and you look over and there's a young couple that's like on a date, just the two of them, and they're both just like heads down in phone land, and it's like the modern couple and dating in 2025 or whatever.
Or even being married for 12 years. Like me and Elliot, we are guilty of that
Oh yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
But to your point earlier, like I want to be like fair about it too. Like there are times where, in the year 2000 or in the 1900s, the year 1999, a couple may just get together and sit on the couch together, share a blanket, and read books in silence, and it's like, that's romantic and like, oh, we just read books together, we just want to be together. So like the fact that it's a phone isn't necessarily, I think, I just want to like put things in the proper place. And actually I kind of disagree with what something Seth here. I have one more point, but this is, again, we're on a side tangent, where he says the smartphone wants your attention. I actually don't think your smartphone cares. I think your smartphone is a delivery for, it's true though. It brings the outside world to wherever you are. That's what the smartphone wants. Now, social media, those algorithmic ad placement strategies, they want your attention and they deliver it via the tool that brings the outside world to wherever you are. So it's like semantics a bit, because like, what is the smartphone if not the apps, if not the companies that provide the apps that are on your phone? Totally get that. I just also like, I kind of think it matters because, as we were saying earlier, you picked up a book in 1950. The dad reading a newspaper, that cliche like feet up on the
Mhm.
ottoman and reading the newspaper. What's more or less distracting, me with my phone out reading the news, or the dad who has the phone up, or sorry, the newspaper up? I can't see his face. Oh, my dad just reads the paper for an hour and ignores me. I think there's zero difference. And what does the
Mhm.
newspaper want? Just to deliver news. It's the human and how we use the tool sometimes too. So a bit of a rant,
Yeah.
but
No, it's
I just think it's important to say this is now a book. This is now a tutor. This is now, it's all the things, right?
yes.
And it's not necessarily that this wants my attention as much as those companies want my attention, because that feeds that provides their paycheck. What's the right word for that?
Yeah.
Revenue.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so there's
Oh,
that
it's very
point.
okay.
Let's land here. I think when I read this, it was, what does it want, but what do I want? And I think what he's encouraging us to do is to say choosing to engage with things that want what we want is a powerful choice. And so I think
Yeah.
that's the question to ask ourselves, is like, what's important to me? What do I want? And then do I engage with things that also want what I want? Or to say it a different way, because objects wanting things is still kind of a funny thing to wrap our heads around. But like, what do I want? And then how do I engage with things, with companies, brands, objects, people that
Mhm.
help me to get what I want and how I want it, not how I
Mhm.
want it. You get what I'm saying? I was on such a
Yeah.
tear.
No, you're crushing it. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think people too, like I've been thinking about that lately of just like, you know, um, time is so limited to make sure we're spending time with people who also want what we want in the world. Like whatever that is that we believe the world should be, or, making sure that we're investing in relationships and people too. My brain also went there. Not only the brands, like the things we consume or buy, but also the people that we spend our time with.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting clarity on what you want is. I'm just started reading The Gift of Imperfections by Brene Brown, or listening to it actually, which I highly recommend listening to it because there's nothing like hearing Brene Brown's voice in your ears. Like she's
Yeah.
just so easy and awesome to listen to. It sounds like she's like talking directly to you. Because when you listen to audiobooks, sometimes it just sounds like a robot kind of sometimes when it's like
Oh, it's
traditional like
terrible.
narrator. So she actually like of course she's reading her book, but it sounds like she's talking to you because she's
Yeah.
just so good at it.
I
Anyway,
just finished listening to Nate Bargatze's book. It's like, how would else would you do that? It's the delivery, the timing of the comedian that makes it happen. So yes, totally get it.
yeah.
Brene Brown.
Well, anyway, it's not the exact same thing of what you're saying, but like she has it's like 10 guideposts um and of like living, she calls it wholeheartedly. So it's like, vulnerability, authenticity, resilience. Like she has, and kind of going through each of those values.
Hmm.
And then she has this assessment that you can take to kind of see where you are in the spectrum of like for example, resiliency. It's like, are you living in scarcity or fear, or are you living in, like abundance and resiliency? Um, so anyway, it was just a reminder of like, okay, I want to be, and I'm going to be reading it with two other friends that are new friends in my life. And I'm so looking forward to it because I'm like, these are the conversations and the people I want to be surrounded by, not the people who are just like scrolling TikTok and have no interest in bettering themselves or the world. And so I'm just kind of ended my night with gratitude last night. It was just like, and that's kind of what I'm on the hunt for. It's like, okay, who are the people like that, the brands like that, the thought leaders like that, that, can just encourage me and others to be better and think differently and grow ourselves so we can grow organizations and the world and all the things.
Yeah. Gosh, that's good. And you just got me thinking, like, when you engage in something like an Instagram, you're helping people get what they want, but not necessarily what you want. And if you If you get clear with what you want and then engage with things that help you get there, probably not Instagram or whatever you were beating up Instagram. It's that difference between like consuming versus creating. Like you're just
Yes.
consuming content or stuff, or are you creating? Are you engaging in a way that takes you that one extra step towards what you say you want, the health that you want, the life that you want, the family that you want, the relationships you want?
Yeah.
Man,
It's good stuff. Well, thank you, Seth, as always, for the
yeah.
and Kevin, right? Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin Kelly, one of the
Yeah.
greatest. And thank you, Joey,
Thank you, Joey.
our unofficial sponsor for the morning. And thanks to you for listening or watching this. Please, we need the feedback loop of hearing from you. So visit sethsaidwhat.com. You can easily communicate with us there or drop a comment in whatever on YouTube or Spotify. We'd love to hear from you. Get your thoughts on what we're trying to do here.
That's
Yeah,
right. All right. Well, have a good day, brother. Talk to you
you too.
tomorrow.
Bye, Holly.